Can I just ask you your thoughts on the driving in the UK? The tuition that's offered is of a very high standard, and the test that you take is of a high standard. Then why is it that most of the people that are driving, and I will say this, they're not white, they're absolute terrible drivers? Why is this? Am I experiencing it, or are you experiencing it as well? Why are there ways of driving? Have they taken a test or not? Are they driving illegally, and sharing a license? I don't know, but how can their driving be so bad and unsafe? That's what we're talking about today. I mean, I tend to drive and park my car in a reasonable manner. But only yesterday I saw a Deliveroo guy. He was obviously not from the UK. He may have been born in the UK, that's not the point. But his parking was all over the curb, and he just didn't care. And he went into the pizza place where he was picking up pizzas. And this was in Staffordshire. He was picking up pizzas, and then got in. When I approached him in my car, he was getting back into his car, which was all over. It was parked at 45 degrees to the road, and he was up on the curb, and people were having to walk around his car on the road because he'd blocked the curb to such an extent. It's just ridiculous. And as I drive up the A500 around Stoke-on-Trent, it's always the same drivers. They're in the right-hand lane of the dual carriageway, doing not 50 mile an hour, but 40 mile an hour. And that then creates a line behind them of people wanting to do 50 mile an hour, which is the legal limit to the road. And then, and then it starts then it encourages people to undertake, which I believe in the UK is not legal. Undertaking is not legal. You correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Can you undertake? I don't know. There's so many rules and regulations in the UK. It's overcomplicated. It's like the bloody tax system. It's just overcomplicated. And, there are so many different signs. I'm surprised people get through the driving test now. I ended up taking my test in the 1980s and passed first time. But it seemed a lot simpler then. And cars were a lot simpler. There's none of these major distractions with screens all over. I'm currently in my Mercedes. There are no screens here other than the main screen, which is the speedo. I'm just saying. The level of the quality of people driving today is horrendous. In fact, I noticed a drop after COVID. I ended up coming back to the UK having lived in Qatar. And the driving in Qatar was almost like the driving in the UK now. Yeah, Qatar was bad. People were speeding, people were in any lane. It was horrendous in Qatar. They were tailgating you if you're not going fast enough. It was horrendous. But I got through that. I only had one accident on the motorbike in Qatar, and had I not got the guy on a video recording to admit that it was his fault, it was going to be my fault, because I am the white man, and the white man in Qatar pays for everything. Just remember that. If you don't believe me, go and ask the guys that are living in Qatar, working in Qatar. And had I not had this recording, which I showed the police officer who was blaming me, yes, for the accident, the police officer, based on my statement and based on the other guy's statement, he blamed me. Yeah. And then I played off, because I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. The white man always pays in Qatar, or the Middle East. Let's call it the Middle East. I got this recording out, a video recording of the other driver admitting that it was his fault. And as soon as he saw this video, he just turned around to the other guy, who was Egyptian, obviously both speaking Arabic, and the police officer said that it was his fault. It was obviously his fault. I assure you this now. It was obviously his fault, based on my statement that I gave and based on the other guy's statement to the police officer, which was in Arabic. Now, I don't speak much Arabic. Yalla. I know what yalla is. Yeah? But, you know, based on the story and based on the other driver that hit me, and knowing I got a recorded video of him admitting it, I have no idea what he said to the police officer to make the police officer think that it was my fault. But I did know that being the white man in Qatar would mean that I pay for the bill on the insurance. It always seemed to be the same case. Yeah. Thought you might find this interesting. Hope you did. Drive safely. The UK drivers at the moment are absolutely horrendous. Thank God I live out in the countryside and don't see town driving that often. Put your comments below and thoughts. See you soon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you would, and give it a like, and share it out to those that might feel the same. See you soon. Bye-bye.